Hello everyone, my name is Mick Bighamian, director and owner of the Los Angeles Chess Club, the most active club on the West Coast, at least pre-corona. And today I have a puzzle that is famous as the hardest pawn ending puzzle in the world. As you know, pawn endings are very tricky, very deceptively tricky, and they said deceptively simple, but they're not simple at all. Even players like Bobby Fischer and Kasparov they've had endings with just 2 pawns for each side that they messed up, and instead of winning the game, they drew. Another one, instead of drawing the game, ended up losing. So pawn endings are very tricky. And today I have this position. It's black to play and win. So it's important to assess the position first, see the advantages and disadvantages for each player. The advantage of black is that he's got 2-to-1 majority on these two files. So at some point, he's going to play h5. Whether white does en passant or not, he will have a pass pawn on the h file. So that's the best thing black has. The best thing that white has is that he has a little bit better king position against blacks, and also a pawn on b7. And if black is not careful, white could play king b6, and in 4 moves, deliver checkmate, nothing black can do about it. So it is a very tricky puzzle. So how should black continue from this position? So the second option that comes to mind naturally is king takes pawn. But this is also not correct. The reason this doesn't work is because now white gets a chance to reach h1 and stop these black's extra pawn on the h file to queen. For example, he plays king g5, and if h5 en passant, pawn takes, king c3, h4, can he enter the square the pawn? 5 by 5? Yes. King d2, h4. The new square the pawn 4 by 4. Can he enter? Yes. So the pawn is already doomed. h3, king f1, h2, king f3-2. And white wins the pawn. And with his king so close to these pawns, he's going to go around, take these pawns. And he's got 2-to-1 majority on this side, and white wins. So we saw that king takes pawn immediately by black on the first move. Doesn't work. So how should black continue then? This obvious continuation didn't work. This obvious continuation didn't work. And that's why this pawn ending puzzle is famous as one of the hardest, if not the hardest, pawn ending puzzle in the world. So what should black do then? Those 2 obvious options didn't work. Well, now black resorts to another option, and that is to play c3. What did this do? Well, the main thing that it does is it closes this diagonal. And so white has to take, obviously. After take, what should he do now? Pushing these pawns? No, because king here and 4 move checkmate is still in there. Now black takes this pawn. And of course, black is about to play h5 and continue and queen that pawn. So white should hurry up and reach that pawn. But this diagonal is closed, so he can't come this route. So he comes through these pawns. So he plays king b5. Black obviously goes pawn here. White plays pawn takes. Black plays pawn takes. And king c4. So black will push. And white plays king d4. So black pushes, continue to push. h4, white plays king takes, h3, king here. And h pawn cannot advance anymore. And in the meantime, white has these extra pawns, and white should win. But here, black plays e3. If white pushes, then h4 wins for black, because king here, pawn push, king takes, pawn push. So white has to take. And here's a little finesse in this ending. After pawn takes, black sacrifices another pawn. See, the idea behind this sacrifice is what's called obstruction, which is one of the minor tactical themes in chess. So white has to take again, and only now black pushes the pawn, h4. And this is winning for black. Because if king e4, h3, and white cannot enter the square the pawn, which is this 3x3 area, and black wins. So hope you enjoyed it, and I would suggest, if you really want to fully understand this, watch this video at least 2-3 times, because it's very subtle, very complicated, and preferably have a chess set in front of you and set it up, spend some time, and once you fully understand a really complicated puzzle, you gain a great deal of insight into realms of endings, which is extremely complicated, especially pawn endings. Hope you enjoyed.